This is going to be a look at the Ravens pass rush from the Week 18 loss to the Bengals with a little bit of projection, to be honest with you, looking forward to the wild card game. I'm only going to show film from last week's game. Owe, Ojabo, JPP, Houston, Broderick Washington, Matabike, other guys getting pressure at times, and then other times not. And then I'll pose the question probably repeatedly, which of the options would you like to see? A standard four-man rush with no trickery? A five-man rush where Roquan Smith appears to be man-to-man on the back and Patrick Queen is off the field? I'm talking about passing situations. Or simulated pressure where Queen and Smith are walked up to the line, threatening a six-man blitz, and then we stem people out of there. You guys know what I think of dropping Owe, Houston, and we actually dropped Ojabo the other day. But I'll pose the question to you guys repeatedly, which options would you like? And you'll get to see some of the results. Additionally, I'm going to pose the question, do you think the Ravens pass rush this past Sunday was playing checkers or chess? Do you think that I'm reminded of that great Denzel quote? Of course, there's been hundreds of them in the movie Training Day. It's chess, not checkers. And in my opinion, Joe Burrow plays chess. And he plays chess in about a second and a half. The picture you guys see on the screen right there, you got some Ravens pass rushers, moving toward the quarterback, some people dropping out of there. Burrow's catching the football. He's already made some decisions prior to catching the football, prior to the ball being snapped, I should say. Based upon the coverage and what he sees, our job is to, yes, sometimes confuse him, but not risk opening ourselves up to bigger plays in the pass game, or Burrow being able to escape pressure for a moment and then deliver a offbeat throw, because that will happen. He is that good. Some people will not like hearing this, and they will disagree that he is not a fast twitch guy. I think he's a better fast twitch guy than people give him credit for, number one. Number two, he's a fast twitch guy in the body positionings that he's practiced millions of times, meaning when he's standing there after catching the football in the shotgun and he's taking his drop, in that moment, he is a fast twitch guy. He might not be a fast twitch guy for a 30-yard run down the field. He's not going to truck someone. But don't misconstrue when someone practices a particular body positioning or a particular movement millions of times, it becomes automatic. And he will escape pressure. In my opinion, the question, at times, not the whole game. In my opinion, the question with Joe Burrow and the Bengals is reversed. Normally the question is, how many rushers do we need to bring in order to get pressure? How many rushers do we need to bring in order to sack the quarterback? In my opinion, against Burrow, the question is different. Of course, it's a missed sack by Odafe Owe here. We zone dropped Brent Urban, and then Burrow's able to scramble out of there and get 7 yards, right? Very frustrating to watch for a Ravens fan. In my opinion, the question is reversed. The question is this. If he escapes pressure on this play, whatever play it is, how many people do I want in coverage? Who do I want in coverage if that happens? And that mentality can't be taken on every play. Like this play, for example, the Ravens only rushed 3. Now, I would offer to you this was a successful example of rushing 3, even though Burrow gets out of there. Odafe Owe clearly has an opportunity to get a sack. Brent Urban is the zone-dropping D tackle. And he's unable to contain Burrow once Burrow gets out of here. Is this play an anomaly? Do you think he'll do this, 6, 8, 10 times a game? Well, no. Can he do it 3 or 4 times a game and hurt you? Absolutely. He did it Sunday. How many people do you want in coverage if and when this happens? And then also, who do you want in coverage? You don't want to tip your hand and give away everything, but I offer to you that having a guy like Brent Urban, or Broderick Washington, or Justin Matabike, or Calais Campbell drop out in this part of the field does nothing. They don't have the agility to keep up with a guy like that and finish the play, and I think you got evidence of that here. I'm not saying, this play is all coach's fault. I actually love the 3-man blitz, letting our other guys attack, having appropriate number of players in coverage. All right, These blitzes we've been running all year where we bring an inside linebacker from one side, typically the boundary, and then we drop the OLB, in this case Bowser, to the field. Ends up being a four-man rush, a check down to Joe Mixon. A lot to like about this, to be honest with you. Queen is blitzing, turning it into a four-man rush, and you can see that Burrow is looking to this side right now. Roquan has dropped into that window. Well, where did he come from? He came from the other side of the field. This is very similar to some stuff the Steelers do. You may remember the first play, or maybe the second play of the home game against the Steelers in 2020. Robert Spillane got a pick six on Lamar. It's because of stuff like this. They blitzed one inside linebacker, basically the other inside linebacker. We call it sling. You basically sling or you move to replace his drop, and then 54 replaces Roquan Smith's drop, even though that arrow there wasn't drawn at the correct angle. Gets in the window, you will get the all-22. The Ravens can do this. This is something we can do. We can do it out of our nickel set. I offer to you that one of the important things is how many people are lined up in this box on known passing downs pre-snap. If that number is 6, but we have 2 second-level players, I'm fine with that. If that number is 5, I'm fine with that too. If that number is 6 or 7, and all of those guys are lined up on the line of scrimmage, I don't think we can do that against Joe Burrow and not get punished eventually. I just don't. This is the same play from the all-22 angle. Something to mention here. This blitz for Queen is coming out of a too-high structure, and it's coming from the boundary where the Bengals have twins. So let me run it from the all-22 a little bit. Let you guys see how we drop the coverage. It's a nice job of dropping to cover 3. Right? A little bit different than the way the Bengals do it in some cases, but we're dropping to cover 3. You can see the 3 deep distribution. One thing to mention, though, I don't believe that we can do this when that slot receiver is Jamar Chase. Just don't. Think of the second time we played them last year, and Jamar Chase, running those hot routes. We cannot do that. Now, in this case, we're spinning Marcus Williams down. He's going underneath of Chase, so Marlon can play the deep thirds. This is just curl flat. This is just curl flat, hook to curl, hook to curl. So it's just cover 3. But we're probably running this because Chase is the number 1 receiver. In my opinion, we cannot run this stunt when Chase is the slot, even though it didn't necessarily hurt the Ravens a ton on Sunday night or Sunday afternoon. I think that was a 2nd and 7, turned into a 3rd down, successful play, forcing them to throw underneath. This right here, I think the Ravens can do, show a 5-man blitz. Basically, the inside linebacker is manned on the running back. In this case, it's Queen on Perrine. You have Marlon down here man-to-man on Chase. Burrow's going to get rid of the ball quick. You can see that we don't get there, but at least with the threat of bringing 5, we've created, some one-on-ones here. And Burrow's getting rid of the ball quick. It's a nice job by Worley. Worley's trying to jump this, in my opinion. Second time in that game, I think Worley is very aware of the route that's probably coming and is nearly jumping it in a manner to get a pass breakup or possibly even an interception. He competed. I don't know how much of that he'll be able to replicate Sunday night. I don't know. I know that I like him as a player, to be honest with you. All right, you've got a great effort by Worley. I think Marcus Williams is too flat-footed here. Jamar Chase runs right by him. It's good for this to happen this past Sunday so that Marcus Williams understands the speed that we're talking about. Matabike was spot shadowed. He gets a QB hit here at the end. Look at Williams. Williams is just too flat-footed. Now, if Williams, gets off and then Jamar Chase, curls this up, then it's probably going to be open, right? That's the talent level that Jamar Chase has. Matabike gets a big hit on Burrow, takes him down. It's a great play by Worley. If there was more contact from Marcus Williams here, this could clearly be called pass interference. But look at what you've got. You've got 7 in the box. Am I saying we have to play with 6 in the box the whole game? Well, no. I mean, if they bring 2 tight ends in or they bring 2 running backs in, then that changes the dynamic. But in my opinion, that just the sheer numbers of people we have in the box can open us up to stuff like that. Now, in my opinion, that was generally due to Marcus Williams playing a flat-footed read. Here is Matabike. I'll try to slow it down so you can see him a little bit. I think some of our guys won matchups on Sunday, and I think they can win those matchups again. How many times will they win those matchups? Will a guy like Matabike have 4 or 5 plays like this? Well, no, but it only takes one to really set the tone. And when I say set the tone, I mean hit the quarterback, make him understand it's not just going to be 7-on-7. It's not the second time. It's not like the return game last year, the second game these two teams played, where Burrow was just sitting there throwing the football with no pressure at all against second and third string DBs. All right, so you're going to get 2 views of this play. We cannot run this stunt with Jamar Chase in the slot, in my opinion. He's too dangerous. Him and Burrow are too smart. They're too connected on these hot routes. It's to the boundary. So this is, not exactly a blitz by Queen because he's peeling out of here, all right? But we cannot leave this leverage. We cannot give this leverage up. Pull this back one more time from the end zone angle and then let you guys see the all-22. You cannot see, you can see a little bit of Chase's elbow right there. When you get the all-22, you get a better idea, but I'm intentionally showing this one. Look at the leverage we've got with Queen. We've got inside leverage at like 5 yards alignment off the line of scrimmage. That's good leverage, because that can kind of close off Chase from a slant. It can funnel him to the outside. We give that up. We give that up with this here. Chase is able to beat Marcus Williams to the sideline, 9-yard gain, pick up a first down. I don't recall the down and distance. We'll get it here in a second. Okay, so it's a 2nd and 10. Look at the leverage that we've got again. You can see Queen's feet inside of Chase. You're talking about probably 1 by 5, maybe 1 by 4, but Chase is off the line. The line of scrimmage is actually the 33. Chase's foot is, back on the 34 or close. We cannot give this leverage up, number 1, with this fake stunt by Queen. Number 2, I don't think we can end up in a 2-on-2 situation very often with Jamar Chase having that much space. In my opinion, there needs to be auto checks out of these stunts or fake stunts when Jamar Chase is in the slot. How do you do that? It's complicated. It involves a lot of formation study. It involves a lot of awareness, and then going out on the practice field and practicing it, putting your players in those positions that they're going to have to check out of in the game, and then they will make mistakes, and then you correct them, you fix them, right? And the good thing about that time period is it's not a full contact time period. It's not a time period where players are padded up. You can do that through a walkthrough. Okay, are we checking out of this? Or are we staying in this? Why? Why are we checking out of it? Oh no, why are we running it? And you can do that repeatedly. You don't need linemen there. Hell, you need the inside linebackers on some level, but you can do it with groups, with small groups. All right, this is a 4-man rush in the red zone, an organic 4-man rush, meaning the Ravens are lining up in what looks like a 4-man rush, and then that's what they're actually running. For some reason, my player keeps hesitating, so sorry. I understand the need to simulate certain things. Sometimes I think the Ravens were simulating a blitz to get Burrow to throw the screen. Bowser wins here, is unable to finish it, and then Broderick Washington finishes Burrow as he throws it away. Do we, Bowser, Oweh, Houston, Ojabo, are they going to win 5, 6, 7, 8 times in one game? Probably not. Each one of them can win 2 or 3 times in a game. They absolutely can. And then this right here, these efforts are important because it makes Burrow understand if I escape pressure and I stay here to throw, there is going to be a negative drawback to it. I'm going to get hit. It's a 2nd and 10. It's an organic 4-man rush. What do you think? Do you think that this is just what the Ravens should do? A part of me does, to be honest with you. You've clearly got man, 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 all right? Marlon is releasing one in to the safety. So Marlon is free right here to play. So it's one of our read coverages. He's got 2 to the flats, to the boundary. So Queen is taking that and ends up looking like man, like I said. How much of this would you like to see the Ravens play in terms of bringing 4, playing some of our read coverages? Or, I think you've definitely got man at the top side of the screen. End zone angle, same play. Broderick Washington is right here on the left-hand side. With the Bengals' struggles at offensive line, it's unfortunate for them that they don't have La'el Collins. Kappas is out, but the Ravens get to take advantage of it and possibly create some pressure, win some matchups. I feel like they can win some against the left tackle. The bull rush against the right tackle seems to be an option. Seems to me like this guy kind of pulls the chair out from Oweh, kind of like Charles Barkley and other guys used to do. So, excuse me, that's not Oweh, it's JPP. Maybe JPP just fell down. Maybe that's why I thought it was Oweh, because of how many times he's fallen down this year. All right, we're halfway through these clips, and we're going to start talking about simulated pressures. We're going to start talking about situations where the Ravens line up 6 guys on the line of scrimmage and make it look like, all 6 of them are going to blitz. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. They cannot do that once. The Ravens cannot bring 6 once against the Bengals' base personnel. When I say their base personnel, I mean 11 personnel. Now, when you get situations like this, where you have the tailback and a tight end lined up on the same side 95% of the time for the Bengals in the last 2 seasons or so, that has been a pass play. So it's kind of a giveaway for the Ravens. I don't think the Ravens can do this a ton. And when I say this, I mean drop out 2 of our pass rushers and blitz 2 of our guys who can cover. Here's why. Was it successful? We're not talking about the play. Was it successful? Did it accomplish its goal? Did it move Burrow off his spot? Yes. Calais Campbell moves him off his spot. This guy, 65, is able to get a little piece of Hamilton to knock him off his path. Otherwise, it's a free rusher. So did it accomplish its goal? Yes. But when I said this earlier in the video, I'm not sure I explained it very well. If Burrow is able to escape pressure, if he is able to get away from the primary blitz, how many guys do you have in coverage to cover at that moment? And then who are they? This, in my opinion, is the second example I'm showing you of us having the wrong guys in coverage. Do you need to simulate pressure sometimes? Yes. Do you need to show blitz sometimes? Of course you do. In my opinion, this guy right here and even this guy right here need to be the guys that are in coverage instead of Oweh and Ojabo. That's just my opinion. Kyle Hamilton has some blitzes this year, but you have to look at sometimes when your successful sacks happen in terms of each player. Are they coming against guys like Joe Burrow? Look, this is what Joe Burrow does, guys. He did this against the Chiefs in the AFC title game last year. He's done this repeatedly at LSU. He's done this since his rookie year with Cincinnati. He's escaped plays, gotten the ball to a playmaker. The Ravens, in my opinion, need to reverse the question. And I think they maybe did a little bit on Sunday. Maybe I'm being a little bit off base here. The question isn't how many guys do we need to bring to get to Joe Burrow. The question is how many guys and who do we want in coverage in this area when Joe Burrow or if Joe Burrow escapes our initial pressure. Hopefully I said that in a way that makes sense. All right, same play, all 22 angle. Guys, this was a 3rd and 10. Huge play by Burrow. Great play. Give him credit, man. Like, I understand all the saltiness on both sides or anger on both sides. I get it. It's competition. I was a young man once too. But this is a fantastic play. For him to be able to escape the pressure, step up. Queen doesn't look like he really rushed. Weird. On a 3rd and 10, do you think the Ravens should run this? Maybe you're the type of person who says, maybe you're like a Steve Spagnuolo and says, we want to run our organic 4-man pressure, drop 7 in coverage. Fine. I wouldn't advocate for a 3-man rush on 3rd and 10. I would not. I think there's a time and place for it. The Bengals clearly showed that in the game on Sunday. Is this the type of pressure? Is this the type of coverage you would like to see with Oweh and Ojabo dropping out? Me personally, no. Oweh, Ojabo, Houston, Bowser all won some matchups in Sunday's game in the pass rush. They are athletic enough to sack Burrow or at least be able to chase him down. I don't think the Ravens can run that stunt that we just showed you right there, not once. All right, this is Burrow's go-to on 2nd and long. And when I say Burrow's go-to, offensive coordinators generally call what their players are comfortable with. This is a 3rd and 7 later in the game, but I noticed a pattern in this game where the Bengals were running empty on 2nd and long. If it was a 1st down play where they didn't gain any yards, or maybe they gained 1, The very next play was empty like 6 times. Yeah, it was pretty shocking to me. Why? Because Burrow's comfortable in it. He makes quick decisions. It spreads everyone out horizontally so that he can get rid of the ball into these windows here. To me, we have to match that. Like, we can say as a staff, we want to run our 5-man stunt or our 6-man stunt. I'm not saying we can't run a 5-man stunt. I'm not saying that. In my opinion, we're trying here. This is chess. We're trying to draw out a screen. We're showing blitz. Look at Queen and Smith. You see what Queen and Smith are both doing? Smith to this side, Queen to this side. Now, I think we're playing chess in this situation last Sunday. However, it would also be possible for someone to say, well, if we're going to do that again this week, that could be checkers. Because maybe the Bengals, and they did try this, are going to run a hitch with Chase, and then one of these guys is going to run up the hash. I thought I saw that play twice on Sunday as the game developed. I think the Bengals were aware. The Ravens were trying to simulate pressure and draw out the screens, and then have the Bengals throw the screen and then defend the screen. We did defend the screen better as the game went on. Another element to this, if you ask me, is the edge players. They have to play the screens better than we have all year, and I think Justin Houston did. I thought Houston played the screens very well. He got involved. He was there like you saw on that play. All right, moving on. This is Ojabo's forced fumble and JPP with a badass pass rush against the right tackle. He puts the right tackle on skates here, and Ojabo goes, all the way around the circle because JPP is forcing Burrow to step up. Burrow is going to get back and then step up, try to escape out this side. Pass rush, just like all sports and football especially, is complementary. 4-man rush, organic 4-man rush on a 3rd and long, excuse me. Maybe it is 2nd long. I'm not seeing it well. Yeah, it is 2nd and 10. My apologies. Ojabo gets around the edge, violent use of his hands. JPP briefly looks like he makes contact with Burrow's helmet or something. I don't think that's a face mask. I don't think he actually grabbed the face mask, but we'll see it a little better from the end zone angle here. Great rush by JPP with a lot of force. This move here looked like it worked against this tackle some. I'm not sure how many times it worked, but I definitely saw it work 3 times from JPP. He's so big and strong. And he's ready to go in the playoffs every year. You know that. Great play by Ojabo. All right, this one right here, it worked on Sunday, meaning 5 guys lined up in the box. Presumably, you would expect that Roquan Smith or Patrick Queen, whoever's there, is manned up on the running back. This can work. At least it did work on Sunday. Will it work next Sunday? I'm not sure. We cannot, in my opinion, line up 6 guys there and then drop out D tackles. So what I mean is, if Queen was here and we drop out, a D tackle and we drop out an OLB, I do not think that works against Joe Burrow. I do not think that works against the Bengals. I just don't. I think it works better if we're playing man on the back like Smith is here. Now, once Burrow gets out of there, Smith is gone. And this is a great catch. I don't think you get a really great angle of it here. It's a great catch by Boyd. I thought this was close to being incomplete live, but it was not. Just a beautiful play. This is the all-22 angle. You'll see it again. Can the Ravens do this? You got a 2-high safety structure. So man, 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 man. And then Smith, this is Smith, who I pointed out earlier, he's man on the back. So you're talking about cover 2 man. Is there a situation to run cover 2 man? Absolutely. This is 2nd and 8. I think Pepe Williams does a nice job competing here. But what's the larger point? And I said this twice now. I said it early in the video, and I said it about 5 minutes ago. How many people and who do you want in coverage if and when Joe Burrow escapes the primary pressure? You may not think he's a fast twitch athlete. This is a 3rd and 8, sorry. You may not think that he's got this escapability. He does. He just showed you on Sunday. Who do you want in coverage? Marcus Williams, Pepe Williams, Kyle Hamilton. You want our coverage guys in cover. That's why this play is successful, even though it's a great job by Burrow, a great catch by Boyd, who looks like he gets his feet in bounds. Even if he doesn't, it's still a great catch against tight coverage. That's my overall point here, is not to say the Ravens should do this. It's to say the Ravens should avoid doing certain things. Certain calls should be taken out of the equation. Check this one out. Yes, we line up 6 on the line. Who drops out, though? Hamilton, Smith, Queen. Who are they? They're guys who are used to covering. They're not OLBs. They're not D tackles. This is a badass move by Odafe Owe and also by Houston. I thought Houston, the film to me shows Houston playing a lot better than I thought. I think he was close to getting sacks. I think him versus the left tackle is a matchup that the Ravens can win. Clearly, the health of the Bengals' offensive line has been somewhat compromised. Look, that came during a time period where the Ravens got 9 stops over a 10 possession stretch. Pretty incredible, if you ask me. All right, end zone angle, same play. I think this is the last play I'm going to show you. This video's gone on long enough. Look at Owe's spin. Oof. Now, Burrow is on the spot. He has not moved off his spot. He didn't kick out of here. He didn't step up and, get out of there. So Ojabo's aiming point is true. It seems like whenever the aiming point moves, whenever his destination moves, that's when he has trouble adjusting. Not here, but once the quarterback starts to move. In this case, it looks like you've also got a little bit of a hold by the left guard who just got scorched by that spin move. I think the Bengals will make adjustments in their pass pro. I think you're going to see more of this. Jokers, or like I said, the tight end on the same side as the running back, but set up in front of him. Jokers is one running back on the left of the quarterback, one running back on the right. I believe that this is what you may see some. And then the Ravens have got to be able to check out of certain blitzes. How often do we do that? I'm not sure, guys, to be honest with you. I really don't know. I think I see times where the Ravens check out of blitzes, but, were you to ask me how many times that's happened this year, I'd say maybe 8 or 10. Maybe our calls are generally just hard-coded, meaning this is the call, run it. I don't think that if that's the case, then it is the coach's responsibility this Sunday night to avoid certain calls. What are they? Lining up 6 on the line of scrimmage, bringing the 2 inside backers, and dropping out a D tackle or edge player, or dropping out 2 edge players. It's like Ray said years ago, let the rush guys rush, let the cover guys cover. If you want to simulate pressure to try to draw out a screen, fine. Be prepared, however, for the slot fade up the sideline on the fake screen. Oh, by the way, the Bengals ran that against us last year, right? The touchdown to Azoma on the right-hand side, that was a fake screen. It was the exact same play the Chargers had run the week before, except they threw to the tight end, running up the right side. The Bengals have run that exact play against us before, a fake screen, and it was a touchdown. So in my opinion, yes, you can sim out these screens, maybe, it looks like. I don't think the Bengals were just throwing screens 4, 5, 6 times randomly. I think we have identified a situation where we can kind of force their hand. There will be an adjustment by the Bengals. They will not throw as many screens, or they will throw them against different looks, number one. Number two, there'll be an adjustment in their O-line, and they're going to have to, with another one of their starters out. Very unfortunate. Football is a physical game. Bengals are missing pieces. So are the Ravens, obviously, and especially if Lamar doesn't play and Gus. But let me know what you think of the video, looking at the Ravens pass rush. Ultimately, last question, do you think the Ravens on Sunday, this past Sunday against the Bengals, do you think they were playing checkers, or do you think they were playing chess? My brain tends to move towards chess a little bit, to be honest with you. But I also understand that it's possible that, the offense gets the chalk last, meaning they get to determine what plays they run. And the Bengals might be setting us up to play some chess on Sunday Night Football as well. Appreciate you guys' time. Let me know what you think of the video in the comment section.